Hidup membawa air mata, senyum, dan kenangan. Air mata mengering, senyum memudar, tetapi kenangan hidup selamanya. Ingat, ini hanya hari yang buruk, bukan kehidupan yang buruk.
Creation of Adam, that is Allah, He says, He created Adam from mud, not water. Mud, clean lazib. When He speak about the semen, either He used the word water directly, or He used the word nutfa, which is more specific about semen. So, He's trying to fix it, but it doesn't work. It is humility. It is duct tape, which He's trying to find out a solution for it. But let us go back. Maybe He has something more to offer beside what He just said. So what the Quran is speaking about the baby, how the baby is created.
That's what it means. Now, some translators have translated this to mean spermatozoa, or not even that, sperm drop, or something like this. But that is us putting our own kind of 21st century glasses on and imposing it on the Quran. The Quran, even now, the Arabs, when they're talking about, when they're writing their kind of scientific textbooks about sperm, they call it al-haywan al-manawi. Okay, they call it.
The only hayawan is you idiot. He says that the Arab, when they speak about semen, they call it al-haywan al-manawi. They are trying to translate what is written in the English and Latin books, you donkey. This is why they are using different words. But all of us, we knew that nutfa is the semen, the sperm specifically. Not a single sperm, many. Which is a mistake again, because if you are created from all and millions of semen, that means science is wrong. If you are created from one only, that means Quran is making more decision about how many. However, either one is wrong, because one semen doesn't make a baby, or a billion semen doesn't make a baby. The semen duty or the sperm's duty is to fertilize the egg. And the egg is not a semen, and the baby is not a semen. It's not the semen start getting bigger and bigger and make a baby. No. That's what your Quran is saying. So he's trying to make it, it's just a little water. What little water? Explain to us what is the little water in the verse.
Basically, the animal, which sperm animal, this is how they're translating.
Stop touching your nose.
Nutfa is not specific enough to that very, sperm that we see in diagrams and sure see in pictures and so on, in films or whatever it may be. So the Quran doesn't mention that, nor does it mention the egg. It doesn't mention the egg in this, because no one would understand this. I mean, think about the Quran is trying to reach out to a 7th century, 8th century, 9th century audience, not just a 21st century audience. Imagine if it's telling the end user here that inside of the sperm that comes out or you emit as a man, there is actually animals in there. Or that people would be like, what's this talking about? I mean, think about that. The Quran.
So now he's trying to say to you, at that time the Quran was speaking to stupid people that will not understand. Okay. So Allah don't know He will speak to us today? Are you saying He used the wrong word? Are you saying the Quran never mentioned how the baby is made? What little water? I will go with him. If the not for me little water, explain to me how little water became a baby. You just said water. Continue.
Quran uses phraseology which is appropriate for all peoples and all times. It uses perfect phraseology which we, as for example 21st century end users of the Quranic discourse, can understand, with for example the biological and embryological understanding of today. But also that it couldn't alienate the 7th or 8th century or 9th century or 10th century people up until the age when the microscope was developed. This is foolishness at its core, really, this assumption. So yes, it doesn't mention the sperm in that sense, it doesn't mention the ovum in that sense, but the indications, to be quite honest with you, are all there that show that the authorship of the Quran, or the author of the Quran was acutely aware. Like for example, nutfatin amshaj. إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا. As it says in Surah Al-Insan, chapter number 76, verse number 2. We have created a human being from a mixture.
Mixture! Let us see the mixture from your prophet and get you busted. Here we go. This is your prophet. Explaining what does that mean. Remember he said, it's a mixture. So what is the mixture which created the baby? It is the orgasm, not anything else. Not an egg inside the woman. It is the orgasm of the man and the orgasm of the woman. When a woman, she came to Muhammad, she had her hand over her vagina, and she was pointing there down. She said to him, Prophet, yesterday I was having sexual dream intercourse. A man, he was doing a lot of bang to me, so I have something here. Yes, here, look here. You see, it's wet. So the Prophet, now he want to give her advice, because the Prophet, this is what he do. I mean, this is what Prophet for. Women, they come to your door asking you about their wet dream. What we should do. She have orgasm. The conversation is so clear, and this is Sahih al-Bukhari. Let us read together. Salama said, this is the wife of Muhammad. She said, Salim, this is the hooker who came to Muhammad. O Allah Messenger, and by the way, this woman later, she offered herself to the Prophet to F her. O Allah Messenger, Allah does not refrain from saying the truth, sure. Come on. That's what the Muslims say, there's no shame in Islam. Ask any question you want, as long as it's about the vagina. But don't question Islam. Ask about the vagina, you're good to go. Is it obligatory for a woman to take a bath after she got natural discharge? Focus on me. Nocturnal, I don't know if I'm saying the word correctly. Discharge, he said yes. If she noticed the water between two brackets, i.e. discharge. Do you see the word water? Yeah, do you see the word water? Water. The word here is used is water, not even sperm. Salama said, does a woman discharge? The wife of Muhammad, she never had orgasm. This is telling you what kind of penis Muhammad he has. His wife, she cannot believe that women, they have discharge. Ever. And the Muhammadan, they say to you that the Prophet have the power of 40 men. The wife of Muhammad asking what she said? What? Women, guys, imagine how embarrassing that you are talking, you are a prophet who speak about how powerful you are in bed. And then the wife sitting next to you, and she say, what? Discharge? What she's talking about, Muhammad? Oh, honey, don't worry about her. She's... Go to the kitchen, okay? And now Muhammad want to explain. So he said to his wife, yeah. Then why does the child resemble the mother? So Muhammad hijab is trying to fix it. According to Muhammad, the women and the man, when they have sex, the discharge coming out, not in. The discharge coming out from the man, coming out from the woman, they meet together. And that's what make the child resemble the mother if the woman have discharge. Which is absolutely scientifically, Like now, if we look at any of you, I don't want to choose any name of yours, you want to see if you are really who in the bed have discharge first, your dad or your mom. If you are a male, this is number one, obviously your dad have discharge first. If you are a female, that your mom should have orgasm first. And if you are a female and you look like your mother, that means for sure 100% she have full discharge. If you are a female and you look like you are a female, but you don't look like your mother, but you look like your father, because perhaps your father and your mother, they come in the same time. This is the science of a Prophet Muhammad. and Mimi Hijab trying to fix it. According to Muhammad, the water she see, remember, we are talking about a woman, she saw something in her vagina. Not inside. She's alone. She's not with the man. She talking about washing her vagina. Should she wash? Should she wash? As you see, Al-Muhammadi claimed that the orgasm of the woman is the reason for the baby to resemble his mother. Mimi Hijab is doing his best to fix it, but he will make it more worse. But hold on. Mimi Hijab will not stop here until he screws his prophet with a screwdriver. I just noticed here, actually, it says, the same topic, if we go down here, it says about the ribs, you know, where the semen and the sperm is coming from. So, number 24, in the minute 41 and 2 seconds, it says, does the Quran say sperm come from between the backbone and the ribs? And look, the stupid, he just said it doesn't mean semen, it doesn't mean a sperm, and now he is using the word sperm. People, do you see the stupidity of this monkey? So, in the previous, the video we are playing right now, he is saying it doesn't say semen. The Quran never mentioned the word semen. Are you with me? The Quran, he was saying the Quran never said the word semen. He just, because those videos he made them in part, not in one day, you know, and then they put them together. So the donkey, he forgot what he said, that he denied the Quran saying semen, and now he is saying, in the moment 41, does the Quran say sperms come from between the backbone and the ribs? So, nutfa was not a semen, never said semen. Now, the word, and he said, that means water, water. But when we go to that chapter here, we will see that it says water. He himself is the one who translated as a sperm. Let us go there and laugh together.
So inshallah we're going to be talking about a verse which is littered all over these kind of anti-Islamic websites.
Anti-Islamic website, brother. What I did. Sorry.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hold on.
So inshallah we're going to be talking about a verse which is littered all over these kind of anti-Islamic websites. This is in chapter 86, verse number 7, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ مِمَّا خُلِقَ مِنْ مَاءٍ دَافِقٍ يَخْرُجُ مِنْ بَيْنِ الصُّلْبِ وَالتَّرَائِبِ. That let human beings see why he has been, from what he has been created. He has been created from a secreted or a gushing fluid that comes from, or that he comes from, and we'll talk about the differences in translation.
Now, I hope now he will not scratch his head no more lies. Focus with me, people, focus with me. Focus with me, Muslims, and see how this stupid idiot, he just got his prophet busted again. The same Quran, the same story about the creation, just the video before it, in the same video, he denied that the Quran is speaking about semen ever. The Quran just say water, little water. It didn't say semen. Now he is saying it is semen.
بين الصلب والترائب, between the backbone and the ribs. And obviously here, صلب والترائب is translated in more than one way, and we'll come to this. The contention is that this is actually unscientific because we know that spermiogenesis happens in the testicles and it doesn't happen between the backbones and the ribs, for example. And the assumption, obviously, is that what is being referred to in the verse when it says ma'in dafiq is sperm, and therefore this verse is out of line with observable reality, and it's a proof against Islam. This is the contention. So let's deal with one thing at a time. First and foremost is the word. What does the words sulb and tara'ib actually mean? So there are three opinions which are represented in the classical literature and the dictionaries. Either we're talking about the backbone and the ribs of the man, or we're talking about the backbones of the ribs and the backbones of the man and the ribs of the woman, or we're talking about the backbone and the ribs of the woman, and we're not talking about the secreted liquid or the secreted fluids, but instead we're talking about the insan, the human being himself. Because that verse says, فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانِ مَا خُلِقَ, let the human being see from which, or from that which has been created. خُلِقَ مِن مَاءٍ دَافِقٍ, has been created from a gushing of secreted fluid. يَخْرُجُ مِن بَيْنِ الصُّلْبِ وَالتَّرَائِبِ, which comes from between the backbone and the ribs. Now, could it mean that the human being, يعني فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانِ مِمَّا خُلِقَ, let the human being see which way he's being created from. خُلِقَ مِن مَاءٍ دَافِقٍ, and taqdeer here is خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانِ مِن مَاءٍ دَافِقٍ, that the insan was created from ماء دافق, secreted fluid. يخرج من بين, يخرج الإنسان يعني من بين الصلب والترائب, that the insan, it comes. Look how they changed the meaning. The Quran is saying that the human being comes from between the backbone and the ribs. This is what the Quran is saying. Simple. The Quran is not saying that there is a sperm coming from the backbone and the ribs. No. But the verse says, gushing fluid, ma'in dafiq. Let us go to the hadith and see what ma'in dafiq mean, and get Mimi hijab busted again. As usual. Here we go. Ma'in dafiq. What ma'in dafiq mean? We will see in a minute. Let us see. Where it's mentioned, nation of a man, mission. Only when a man he kisses his wife. If a man he kisses his wife, a mission occur that only have sacrifice an animal. So here they are talking about ma'in dafiq, but the translation is not shows as it is. But here this is the word ma'in dafiq. Ma'in dafiq. If a man he come to his wife and there is no emission of or ejaculation, that was ma'in dafiq. Ma'in dafiq is ejaculation. It's not even about a human being, your donkey, coming from the woman. It's about ejaculation. It says in the Quran in front of you, it is a water. Water gushing forth. When a human being, he come out, he come as water, gushing forth, or this is the orgasm. Let us go here. And the funny is, this guy, he is the same one who says, in the beginning he says, why those people don't go and see what the interpretation go? Why those people don't go and read any tafsir, what they say? Suddenly he don't want to see tafsir, he don't want to show you any tafsir, because tafsir will get him busted. Chapter 86, verse number 6, it says, it is created from water gushing forth. It's not. What is gushing forth is the water. Who is the one that's proceeding? The water. Suddenly Mimi Hijab, he tried to fix it. He make it, oh, this is about the human being, the baby is gushing forth.
Let us go and see Ibn Kathir, the one Mimi Hijab himself. He asked me last time I spoke to him, this is the only time, he will not dare to make it happen again. He said, Ibn Kathir says that, Ibn Kathir. Let us go and see what Ibn Kathir he said about that. And now, Mimi Hijab, he will wash the face of Ibn Kathir with his ass. Let us see, chapter 86, verse number 6. So suddenly, the Muhammadan, they have totally different interpretation for the Quran. All of this is the purpose is to find a way to duct tape the stupid Quran. So let us see what Ibn Kathir said. Let the human being see how was he created. This is alerting the man weakness of the origin which he was created. The intent of it is to guide man to accept the reality that the hereafter, because whoever is able to begin the creation, then he can also repeat the creation. Okay, and then he says, explain the verse. He created the water gushing, he is created from water gushing forth. Meaning the sexual fluid that comes out, bursting forth from both the man and the woman. Mimi Hijab, peace upon her, made it that the one is gushing forth is the baby. The human being come out from between the backbone and the ribs. But the Quran is saying that the backbone is the backbone of the man and the ribs is the ribs of the women. And the water is gushing forth. So the Quran assumes that women have a sperm coming from their ribs and men, they have a sperm coming from their backbone. And I find it very funny that Mimi Hijab, he agreed that, yes, it can't be that sperm is coming from the backbone. It can't be that the sperm is coming from the ribs. And he is the same person in the same video he mentioned, when we mentioned about this guy, the atheist who spoke to the Muslims, he said, why he don't go and open any tafsir? If you open any tafsir, he will find the answer. The question now, where Mimi Hijab he got his tafsir from? As long as you are asking them to get their tafsir, are you now a mufassir? Are you now a scholar of the scholars? Are you now more educated than Al-Qurtubi, Al-Tabari, Al-Jalalain, etc.? Is Ibn Kathir the one who make tea and coffee for you, Mimi Hijab, and you send him to buy you falafel when you are doing your studies? So, in order to cover the stupidity, we fabricate something is not there. In the same here, let us see, if there's anything connected. I'm trying to connect all the stories he mentioned about the baby creation. This is a semen, the sperm coming from between the backbone. And we got him busted what we do already. Okay. This is again about the baby creation, so I'm trying to play them together so we can laugh. In the minute, 2 hours and 16 minutes and 52 seconds, number 9. Does Quran word alaqa only mean congealed blood? Let us connect all those together so we can come with the conclusion and the Quran science about how the baby is made.
Inshallah, today what we're going to be talking about is something which relates to the subject.
I love it that you grow, you play the video before it, he have no hair. The video after it, he have long hair. The video before it, he have no hair. This guy, he have a wig. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so what the subject?
Of Quran and embryology. And a particular contention which people have, which is that the Quran allegedly says, according to these detractors, but I've seen their material on anti-Islamic websites, that the Quran, that the human being is made up from a congealed clots of blood, and we know from embryological study that that is not the case. And they say the word alaqa which is the operative word, the important word, it doesn't mean to cling or to be attached to something, which is what many Muslims of today say, which they say is a superimposition of modern scientific jargon into the vocabulary of the Quran. So let's deal with these two contentions one by one. The first thing I'm going to be dealing with, inshallah, is the second thing I've just mentioned, which is the fact that this word alaqa cannot mean something which clings or something which is attached to something else. And that in the vast commentarial tradition and the vast exegetical tradition for 1,400 years, this meaning was unknown to medieval scholars, and this meaning was not used in this way to indicate attachment or connection. The truth of the matter is that is false. That, in fact, medieval scholars from the very early days of Islam were mentioning in their treatises, in their dictionaries, and in their exegetical and commentarial works, that in fact, alaqa does mean to be attached to or connected to. So I'll give you one or two examples. Ibn al-Jawzi, he says this, and he was a 6th century scholar. Al-Asfahani, who...
Let us see first, one by one. Remember, this guy, he went to all the Muslim scholars, and then he said, Ibn al-Jawzi. Ibn al-Jawzi. So, Muhammadan, if I go right now and look at what Ibn al-Jawzi said, we should find that Ibn al-Jawzi did not say ever that it is dead blood. Who is a Muslim would like to call me live on air and read for me what Ibn al-Jawzi said? I'm going to open Ibn al-Jawzi. This is your Islamic website. And whatever Ibn al-Jawzi say, we will take. Who is a Muhammadan? He want to get Muhammad hijab busted with no mercy. And tell us what Ibn al-Jawzi said. Any Muhammadan? You know, I think that Mimi Hijab, when he did make this video, he knew that the Muslims is the one who will watch it. And if there's no Muslims, they don't know even who is this guy Ibn Jawzi. Where are we going to find him even where to read his book? And if we find it's going to be in Arabic. I would like to call Mimi Hijab if he dare to tell me what Ibn al-Jawzi said. What if I show you, and I show everybody here, that Ibn al-Jawzi, he said that it is a dead blood. And it is a solid blood, not only dead blood. Let me open Ibn al-Jawzi. This is Ibn al-Jawzi. Mimi Hijab, he says, as an example, there is scholars who explain this word. It doesn't mean that the blood, it doesn't mean blood at all. It means something is hanging. Yes, brother. And he lied. He said they are from the 6th century. Those are people from the 11th century. And you are a fraud. And this is Ibn al-Jawzi. Let us see what he said. Actually, if you're Josie, you got you busted in two things. You said that nutfah
Dorong dirimu sendiri karena tidak ada orang lain yang akan melakukannya. Jika kamu menginginkannya, kamu akan menemukan caranya. Jika tidak, kamu akan menemukan alasan.